your sit down with LeBron James. How did you find LeBron when you sat down with him? Well, tell me what you gleaned from a guy who's been around this guy for a while.
He's someone, and you know this quite well, Rich, being around, sports figures that kind of have an outside influence with their presence. He recognizes his ability to push buttons. If he's not necessarily happy about his lot, his situation. He did none of that in my sit down with him on Sunday. Listen, the Lakers are an imperfect team right now. There's a lot of work to be done to really talk about them as a true championship contender. LeBron chose not to express that to me when I asked him about it. And to me, that's an olive branch to Jeannie Buss and to Rob Pelinka. There will be a time, I'm sure, if this roster looks the exact same as it does right now and the Lakers aren't shooting up the Western Conference standings, that he has the playbook and he knows the buttons to push in the public sphere to apply pressure to try to coerce Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, and the Lakers brass to make some moves. But he didn't choose to make that call right now. And, perhaps it is a sign of both sides looking forward to having a less rocky partnership over what could be the final stage of his career.
Well, I mean, I'm glad to hear he's happy. They drafted his son. They gave him $100 million over 2 years. The coach that got hired, one would think LeBron had I don't know. How would you term it? Approval or, handpicked or none of the above, Dave?
I certainly wouldn't use the term handpicked. Approval, for sure. He put his approval online through, stamping that Mind the Game podcast with JJ with his endorsement that this is someone that speaks the game on the level that he does. And LeBron's long been considered to have one of the greatest basketball cues we've ever seen in the sport. And so, of course, the approval part was there. Listen, maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid too much here, but I actually believe that LeBron and JJ did not have a discussion behind the scenes about what JJ should be telling Rob and Jeannie in the interview process and what he needs to know about coaching the Lakers when he was interested in the job. Just because LeBron knows that virtually everything that he does ends up getting back to the public sphere at some point. And I think he has become savvy enough to know that he can sidestep some stuff. And it doesn't mean that JJ didn't speak to anyone else associated with LeBron. I'm not reporting that, but that could have occurred and there could have been a surrogate for whatever LeBron's feelings were. But I tend to actually believe that they didn't have a discussion until after JJ was offered the job from Rob Pelinka. And at that point, it's just kind of let's get to work. And the important thing, and LeBron did make note of this when we sat down to bring it up, they hired Scott Brooks and Nate McMillan. And so JJ's not flying blind as a first-time head coach. He has one guy who led the Thunder to the NBA Finals and has umpteen years of experience on the bench. Another guy who helped coach the U.S. Olympic team to gold in Beijing, and again, plenty of experience on the bench in Nate McMillan. And so I think that is as important as the team hiring JJ in order to get LeBron's buy-in going into next year.
What is the sense of what JJ Redick's going to bring to this team? What's the vision here that you're hearing about with Redick, Dave?
I mean, the word that keeps getting thrown around is accountability. And then alongside that, thinking the game. And whether that be through what JJ brings to the table in terms of out of timeout plays, in terms of their overall schemes, offensively and defensively, in terms of rotations and substitution patterns, that's all one part of it. But, they really want their players to be kind of starting this culture of, if you play on the Lakers, you are a player that understands the game at a higher level. It sounds great in a press conference. Rob Pelinka even suggested that they may develop some sort of app for the players to gamify JJ's offensive principles. And so they could, like, on some level, be filling out questionnaires or some sort of like video game on their phone in order to kind of reinforce the basketball knowledge he's trying to give to his players on a daily basis. I mean, maybe that's what basketball is in 2024. It sounded a little wonky to me personally, but if the idea is pure as it is, and you can find other ways to get your players to just become sharper in understanding the game, I think it's kind of a noble first step in terms of what the Lakers aspire to be under JJ Redick.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.